let's get right into this with her Archon Shards, and then we're gonna go over her specific build with the new augment, and then a pet build. I don't normally run beasts, I'm a Sentinel man myself, but let's get started. So these here, I just have them to fill the slots. I'm not running Equilibrium, so that is why I have these Tau Forge purples for the Equilibrium effect, and casting speed charm, because it does help. Some of her abilities are rather on the slow side. I'm starting with the arcanes here, because I don't have any vitality mods on her, and she's, a health regen frame, and she's, got some armor and stuff like that. I decided to build for that, and so we have Arcane Blessing. Now, at her base of 500 health, with just Arcane Blessing alone, after you get enough health orbs, which we'll be getting a lot of because we have those Tau Forge purples and Synth Deconstruct on our pet, you get 1700 max health. It's pretty nice. Now, you don't have to run Arcane Guardian, by the way. I just have it because this effectively makes it to where she has 3 layers of damage reduction. Whenever this procs, it gives 900 armor on top of her 265, which means we have about 1100 armor with her, on top of all of her, nice health regen, which she has 5 health regen per second to start with. Every time you pick up an orb, it can get all the way up to a maximum of 25, which is nice. She has her own health regeneration. But with about 1100 armor, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's about like 80% damage reduction. Then we have adaptation for the other layer, 90% damage reduction. And then her preserving shell, with at this power strength that I definitely have reached and passed the 90% damage reduction threshold. As I said, she's very solid, so you don't need Guardian at all. This is just what I have because I just have it on there. It's nice to have 3 layers of damage reduction. And this is just the way I run her. You don't have to. You can put Molt Augmented, if you want to boost her health regeneration, Molt Reconstruct, whatever you like. Whatever you like, it doesn't matter. But I do have this for bringing up her health pool. I also have Brief Respite since we're going to be casting our abilities. And it helps out a little bit more while you're building up to the 1700 health. And again, because she's a solid frame and she does have good survivability, you can also replace that. Again, I just run it this way. This isn't set in stone. My builds are templates. Preparation, because it's always good to start a mission with full or mostly full ability energy. 82% is more than enough for me, and it saves on capacity. We are running both augments though, and I'm going to show you that you can run both of these easily, viably, and very successfully. Umbral Intensify and Blind Rage for all of that power strength over there. Streamline to mitigate the negative 55 ability efficiency. Prime Flow for a bigger health pool, or you already know, adaptation. And Archon Continuity because her Prismatic Gem hits them with Toxin, and it does proc. It does proc the Corrosive for a little bit more priming. Now, if you're only going to run one of these mods, the Archon Stretch does also proc because of the fact that she's also spreading electricity, all 4 base elements. I want to say though, I want to be very clear that you do not need to build any range on Citrine at all. Because her Prismatic Gem, it has infinite range as long as you are inside the radius. Right, so if you drop it down in the open world, like say the Plains of Eidolon, and you're inside of her Prismatic Gem's aura, and you shoot something out of it, it'll blast it from miles away. So the only thing range really helps with is the bubble itself, the actual radius, but it does have infinite range as long as you're inside of it. And her Crystallize has a phenomenal base range of 30. And with Recrystallize, I mean 30 base range, and then it spreads to enemies 16 meters away. It already propagates extremely well by itself. So range is absolutely unnecessary on her unless you're subsuming an ability that requires some kind of range. Now, I have Breach Surge, and as you'll see, in the demonstration here, in a bit after I covered the pet, it works very well in tandem with her Prismatic Gem, and her Crystallize, because while the Crystallize is propagating, so is the Breach Surge, especially on enemy death, which there's going to be plenty of it because of your pet, you, and the Prismatic Gem doing damage itself. You can put whatever you want over here. I mainly got rid of her one simply because I already have all of the orbs I'm going to need via Synth Deconstruct and the purple shards, so it was an easy subsume slot for me. Also, all the rest of these are just way too good to not subsume over her one. But you can subsume whatever you want. If you want to do Pillage for Armor Strip and all of that good stuff, if you want to do Terrify or Ophanimize, whatever you like, man, it's up to you. You want to boost your health regen to a crazy level? Blood Altar, why not? I just have Breach Surge. Now we're going to take a look at the pet. And I want to start this by saying I haven't really done much with beast pets. As you will see here, I'm a Sentinel Man. I got Tiny Box Tim, and I got Tentacool. That is mainly what I use. The only one I have done anything with, and I've not done a super great job at it, is the Panzervopophyla. Luna is what I named her. So, yeah, honestly, any pet that moves around, you know, if you got a good build for the Moa, you got a good build for the Hound, if you got a good build for any of them, that's all you need, is just a good build. I'm just showing you what build I have so that way you know what I was running, and it's probably not great. I was still demolishing everything. So yeah, just so you know, like, this is the only beast I've actually kinda sorta built out. And even with what I would consider it to be a subpar build, it was still annihilating everything. Although, with this build, I did definitely have to, like, be contributing and doing some kills here and there to take some heat off of my, Vulpaphyla. So keep that in mind. This particular build isn't super great, but the most important thing to have is, of course, Synth Deconstruct, whatever survivability that you want, if you want to do shielding, health, whatever, if you simply want to go ahead and run Prime Pack Leader, and you want to do health, or maybe even just this in your melee frame, this is amazing, honestly. If you want, like, easy survivability, Prime Pack Leader's amazing. Contagious Bond is spread around all those insane elements that we are spreading. Duplex Bond, because we're going to be using our abilities, of course, and using Breach Surge and all of that stuff, so we're going to get clones. Vicious Bond for Armor Strip, obviously the Viral Quills for Viral, that for Quality of Life, as well as this, and Momentous Bond for better recovery time after killing Eximus, and even more elements. Again, yeah, I don't have Panzer Devolution, because like I said, I don't do beasts, so this is not going to be the best build in the world for pets. So, you can use that Citrine build that I have, and then whatever probably much better build you have for your pet. And as for Luna's Claws, this, I do have a better build on this, because clearly she can do damage, it's just, she's not the super best at survivability. I have a balanced posture. You can run whatever you want. If you want to make sure they're right beside you, I'm sure there's a posture for that. Probably, you know, I don't have it because, like I said, I don't really run beasts. You know, frenzied, whatever posture suits you best. I've got more for melee damage, immunity resistance for 50% more status damage, Cold a Week, which is basically conditioned overload for pets, and it does help do extra damage to non-crits, if you're dealing non-crits. Burning Claws to change all of the elements on her claws specifically that she does to heat, strikes 4 additional enemies and increase range, which is helpful. Hitting more enemies is always good. This for the crit damage and to boost up the overall damage of the heat, boost up overall damage of the heat plus status duration, and crit chance and damage. Now, what I'm going to show you is nasty. Even with my not too great Panzer build, as long as they can survive, and as long as they're spreading elements, it's insane, right? I mean, the Hound by itself is insane. The Hound can solo the entire game for you. And beast pets are in the best place that they've been for a long time. And now, we can basically just put a sentry gun on top of them while we play and are already blasting around everything, and there's already loads of nuke builds. This just makes pets even stronger, and I would highly recommend it. But that is the video, y'all. I hope y'all have a good day, a good night. I hope this video has helped you to enjoy Warframe, and It's Beast Pets, a little bit more. May RNG be in our favor.